Hey guys, Sonyx here. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to master the brand new Horizon in Apex Legends. Now, Horizon got a ton of new buffs this season, so do not skip a minute of this because the way you play her is a lot different than you would play her in previous seasons. Now, the very first thing I want to, introduce you guys is that Horizon is a Skirmisher legend, meaning she has access to 3 specific passive abilities: Care Package Insight, Trailblazer, and Charge Knock. A Care Package Insight is very simple. You see a care package falling to the sky, you scan it, and you know exactly the care package weapon that is going to be dropping. So whether it's worth it to push it, if it's a car, perfect. Kraber, perfect. If it's P20s, probably not. Each season is going to be different of what care package is going to be in there, but it just gives you and your team the information, and it also gives you kind of evo points for scanning care packages. So really, really easy to gain evo points there. The second passive is Trailblazer. Now allies get a speed boost if they're running towards you at a long distance. Essentially, Horizon is a movement legend. That's her tactical. I'll talk about that later. But man, I'm already super far away. Like, teammates are still going to be, probably looting, or they're trying to catch up to you. Let's say they're a, support or controller legend with no movement abilities. It's not easy to catch up with a Horizon. So they're going to be able to kind of run with a little speed boost next to their name. You'll see a little symbol there, and that helps them to just catch up to you. So you're not going to be having to 1v3 or solo fights, and it just keeps you and your team a little bit safer as well. Now the last passive is Charge Knock. This means you gain health and shields regen on a knock. This is absolutely my favorite ability of the Skirmisher class because you don't have to really heal sometimes. Let's just say you are fighting this guy here, right? There's this one guy here, and then there's another guy down there. You have to kind of 1v2. You knock this guy. A normal player, let's say you get damaged, you'd have to pop a cell and be behind this door, take 10 years, and then re-challenge this guy down here, right? But as a Skirmisher legend, you knock this first guy, just say it's this guy, right? And you start to heal yourself. You literally get 50 HP or shields depending on which one is lower, and you start to heal. It's not, it's not instant. It takes a while, but in this time you could start repositioning. You could swing a different angle, pop another guy, and you've already healed. And then let's say you knock that guy because you have a little bit more shields and HP. Bam, you could chain that up to the next one. So this one's really cool. It literally stops you from having to heal mid-fight. Obviously, it stops when you take damage, but that little boost helps out a lot. Now we're going to go over Horizon's specific abilities. Now with her passive, she gets something called Spacewalk, and this is really cool. Now she gets 2 kind of unique things here. The very first thing is that she has increased air control, meaning that you can move through the air just much stronger than anybody else in the game. So except for Valkyrie, of course, but that's a totally separate video. This one just allows you to be able to kind of move freely through the air. It's really, really, really cool. Now, compared to other legends, right? Let's just try something like Octane, right? I'm gonna try to mantle boost forward, and I want to show you the difference. See how I'm able to kind of just mantle boost forward, just stay really stiff. If I try to turn, I kind of land right here, right? It's a very stiff turn. I'm not able to turn mid-air at all. Even with Octane's jump pad, same thing as you're not really able to turn. You can a little bit, but not so strong. I mean, it allows you to, now that he has the double jump that you could change mid-air, it helps a little bit. But let me show you the difference with Horizon. This is a mantle boost. See that? See how I'm able to kind of shift super it's literally like a top strafe on mouse and key, but this is what it looks like on a jump pad. Watch this. I mean, do you see that? Do you see how powerful that is?
Thanks,
I'm able to shift my entire. It's way stronger. So that little air strafe just adds just a little bit more flair to your movement. It allows you to push faster, escape quicker, so people don't down you as quickly. So it's just a really flexible new ability just for a passive alone, so you don't really need to do anything. And the next thing, she actually does not get any fall stun. Now this one's insane. Any other legend, if they fall to the ground, watch this. I can't move. I'm trying to walk. Do you see me trying to run? I'm gonna drop, and I'm gonna try to run. Watch. I'm stuck. That's called a fall stun, right? It's you basically are stunned when you fall at a certain distance. You can't do anything for that split second. with Horizon, it's so sick. Watch this. You can drop from any height.
Get some bomb pots together.
And then you get that
Another
little
soft landing.
and she says another soft landing because it literally is a passive ability. You get a soft landing every time you drop. So you can just keep doing whatever you want to do. You just rotate and then you start pushing, you know? It's so sick. Because that little split second, let's say someone's even chasing you, right? You can catch them. You can move there and you can catch them while they're fall stunned. It's so sick. So this kind of pairs up with a lot of our different abilities that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Now we're going to move on to Horizon's Tactical, Gravity Lift. Now it's a little device you throw down and you get launched upwards. Pretty much you, your team, anyone who takes it, the very top, you get launched off of it afterwards. You actually can take it again because it lasts a pretty decent time and then just do the same thing. So in Season 27, you got a lot of new buffs. So the very first thing is that the lift speed, you know, the way that it, you know, you get launched upwards, it increased from 300 to 375. So you get a plus 75 speed. You see how much faster that is? And at the very top, you can last 3 times just as long. It used to be like half a second. Now you can hang up there for a second and a half. So this allows you to, you know, do more plays. Like you could heal a little bit longer. So it just allows a lot more flexibility. And also they reduce the cooldown reduction to this thing. So, you know, there's a lot of new changes that they had here, but I only have to wait really 20 seconds approximately to get another one. That is not long at all. You know, before it used to be 30 plus seconds. So now this is exactly, I mean, this is really powerful stuff. Because by the time that I pop the cell, pop the bat, do what I never needed to do to reset, I have another one in my hands. It is really, really, really that powerful. It's one of the strongest repositioning tools of the entire game. Now, there's a lot of different ways you want to use this ability. The very main thing is that you want to just use it to kind of gain high ground, especially for players in your team who don't have movement, you know, abilities. This just allows you to just reach higher areas that most legends can't. Like, let's say you have a Gibby or a Rampart or just anyone who just doesn't have base movement. This just allows you to, you know, to kind of just get around places a lot better. That's the main thing. Obviously, you can use this in a very aggressive way, right? So let's say you know there's a team up there.
Another soft
Bam.
landing.
You could pop this and you catch them off guard. You land in this little spot here, and then you just start, you know, you start the fry. Obviously, it's not going to be that easy all the time, but if you and your team are all taking this together, that team probably won't expect it. 3 kills. So another thing is that you can actually throw kind of grenades up there. Obviously, if you try skynating, it's not so easy all the time to be able to get a perfect angle. You don't know where they are. That was not a good example because I cracked both. But you can take this. Now you see how your visibility increases. You have a greater angle to throw nades, and you're just able to see a lot better. This is going to tie into her ultimate later on, but you can kind of use it to get high ground, so you can get a better visibility of just where to throw your nades, especially if there's a team like camping there. Another way to kind of use it is to kind of do this thing called like taking fake height or juking, because a lot of people think you're just, if you pop this here, you're gonna think you're gonna take the whole thing. You're gonna go up here. You might take the lift all the way to the very top, but you could literally just pop it really quick and then just land back down and then try this guy right here. It's a really simple trick. Something that I've learned through playing Valkyrie is that you can kind of fake height someone and just kind of juke him out. So now the last kind of aggressive way that you want to use this is that you actually don't want to use it. You want the enemy to use it. And the way you could do it is you have a pretty decent throw distance for this. You could throw it towards the enemy and then it'll force them to kind of go in the air. Like, watch that. See that? And then you have the time to fry them. So obviously also when you're going up, it's really easy to control recoil because recoil smoothing exists. That's a completely different topic. But it's a lot easier to shoot targets who are moving in a specific direction versus when they're just standing still, because recoil does the recoil smoothing does all the job for you. So yeah, just use it to kind of get people out of cover, you know, push a team. So it's not really a bad way to use it in that regard. Now, in a defensive mindset, this is a little bit differently. Now, in the middle of a fight, you can actually use it to I kind of talked about this earlier, where you have a little bit more hang time, which is really cool because let me show you this. A battery takes a minute to pop. So you could pop this, pop a battery. You still have some hang time up there. Remember I told you we have 1.5 seconds, and by the time you land, you're good. You've fully healed. You can even go up if you need to take a syringe, and then bam, like you're fully healed by the time you come down. So it is awesome for that. You know, like mid-fight healing is probably the strongest thing you can use. Like let's just say you knock someone, right? You need to heal. You pop this, you pop a bat, you start healing, and then by the time you land, you take the next guy. It's a very vicious cycle that Horizon mains you know, kind of abuse, and it's a really strong way that you can also use it to win your fights. Another thing you could play defensively for it is by door blocking. Now with doors, most players aren't allowed to go through doors if there's a Horizon. Actually, no one can go through this except I think Wraith. Probably Wraith is the only one. But you could block a door completely. Let's say someone's chasing you. No one can go through that door now. That's it. You could heal. You could do whatever you need to do. And no one can go through that door. Let's just say I'm the enemy. I can't go through that door. You have time to back up, reset, pop a bat. You can even pre-aim a new angle because they have to push somewhere else. So it just allows you to make plays and just be the, you know, kind of controller of the fight. And the last sort of defensive way to use it is to kind of launch down teammates. You know, you could literally use it to rescue teammates. So let's say a down guy's here, you could launch it to him, he takes it, and what happens is that whichever direction he's looking at, he gets auto launched to that direction. So he doesn't even need to really do anything. And then by the time he lands here, you pop the res or down here, wherever's safer, and you should be good to go. So I've done that so many times, and it saved so many of my teammates in clutch fights. And you'd be surprised of how much it could, you know, help you in your fights, especially when you're playing with your team. Now, a tiny little tip is that actually Horizon's Tactical launches other stuff, not just people. It actually launches like grenades. So it's cool. It's like a little cannon thing, and it launches everything forward. Doesn't matter the direction, as long as you throw it, it gets launched. So, you know, you could use that in your own little experiments and see if you get cool kills that way. But that's just something a little unique about the little tactical there. Now we're moving on to Horizon's ultimate, Black Hole. Now this one's sick because you throw a little device down and it pulls all the enemies in that vicinity towards it. So, you know, all those guys cannot move now. It's hard to escape. They can technically break this thing. You know, it has some HP, but it actually got buffed this season. Meaning it had 175 HP before, but now it has 225. It's a huge jump. And they reduced a cooldown that you can reuse it from before. It was 3.5 minutes. Now you can get it back in 3 minutes. So they cut that down by 30 seconds. So this essentially means that you can use the ultimate in kind of a more aggressive way more often. So it's awesome. The main way that you kind of want to use this though is with grenades. I mean, this is the most standard way that most people kind of use it. They throw the ultimate down, everyone gets, you know, pulled inside, and you just start throwing nades in there. Don't even care about the health of this thing. It might break, sure, but everyone gets damaged through it. So the nades kind of, you get more value from all the grenades because of the fact that everyone is in one location, and all, like, a grenade is going to kill actually all three of these are going to kind of kill all the players inside. So that's the most value you can get out of those. Now you can combine all the different stuff that she has, so that way you can actually use it to kind of, you know, push someone. So like, for example, I'm gonna get my ultimate out, but even before doing that, make sure you have nades in your inventory. As a Horizon main, that's probably one of your biggest tips. A lot of grenades. Pop your tactical, have your ultimate ready, have a good spot you can throw it, and pop your nades down. You're gonna land being not, you know, having a false stun, and you fry anyone who's there. I mean, that is powerful stuff because the nade is eating them. The disorientation of this is stunning them, right? And you have arc stars, and then you are behind cover already with your gun out with no false stun, and you absolutely fry them. That is absolutely one of the strongest ways that most Horizon players use their ultimate. You can use it, you know, to just be really aggro about it. Now, even if you do not have nades, you can actually use the ultimate to kind of just push someone. Like if they are in this animation, they still have to break this, or they're gonna be worried about you throwing nades. So you can use that, you can capitalize on that pressure and that disorientation to still push them, even if you don't have nades. So it's not to say you need nades all the time, but it is preferential for you to have nades. Also, what's really, really cool about, you know, Horizon's ultimate, it actually, you know, still gets people even if they're not directly, you know, looking at the ultimate. Like, let's say there's a barrier between the ultimate and somebody. It still will activate no matter what. If I throw this down right here, he still gets pulled in. And the doors break. You see how powerful that is? So they can't break this now. They're stuck in this position without... You know, they're fully stuck. It's such a funny animation. So what this means is that if you can use this properly in a fight, you can actually, you know, let's just say there are always going to be people blocking this door, right? Always. You have your ultimate here. You could pop it like right here, and then this door's going to break. Bam. So it's like an automatic door kicker. Plus, the enemies get pulled in, so their aim's gonna get thrown off, and you have a time to beam them, because you know it's a really cool ability. So try that out. See if you can get any cool clips. If you do, you know, tag me in the comments and be like, Sonyx, look, I was able to get a cool kill with the door breaking technique. So those are the kind of main ways you want to use your ultimate. Now we're gonna move on to Horizon's perk abilities, starting at level 2. Now, Season 27 was so nice to Horizon because it gave her a ton of new perks. Starting at Newt Scoot on the right hand side, after leaving your gravity lift, you can actually hold your jump button in the air so you could glide. I'll show you what that looks like.
Another wee pick me up.
And then you just hold your jump and you could glide forward. It's very, very similar. Actually, it's probably identical to Lifeline's, you know, passive ability, and it's a little bit similar to Valkyrie as well. But the only difference is that you can't go up, you just glide down or forward. The main thing about this is that it is really strong for covering distance quickly, right? Because you're not traversing on the ground, so you have no, you know, obstructions that you have to climb through, so that you can just do that, and then obviously you get your tactical again in like, you know, 20 seconds, and then you pop another one, traverse quickly. It's a little, it gets you places a little bit faster than normal. But the main way that you kind of want to use this in fights is kind of be sneaky and be stealthy. Now, because when you take it, you're actually super quiet. Unlike Valkyrie's jetpacks, you're super loud. So you take it, you go hunting, you find someone, you land down, you don't get fall stun, and you immediately, you know, get that kill. So it's a lot stronger than most people think, because you can actually, yeah, like sneak attack or ambush kills are really powerful on Horizon. You won't know when she drops, and once she drops, there's literally no you know, fall stun needed, and you could just immediately fry someone. Now on the left hand side at level 2, we have gravity boots. This is actually my personal favorite, because if you hold your crouch now mid-air, you actually fall fast. Oh, this one is so super strong. You pop your tactical, you don't even need to hold, you just tap it, and you just fall super quickly. That's not even sped up, by the way. That is completely normal speed in the recording, but you could fall fast no matter what. It doesn't even have to be through the tactical. You can even like go here, fall fast if you're, you know, if you're trying to jump places. See how much less of a hitbox you are now when you're traversing. You get hit way less. You can actually, you know, be less of a target now when it comes to taking this. You pop your battery, your cell, and you jump off. Look how slow that is. That allows you to get beamed free. That bat you just popped doesn't even matter. But if you have this, you pop a bat, you're all resetted, and you see that guy down there, you slam down, and you take him out. So, if our PK did more damage there. So, pretty much with level 2 perks, you know, Newt Scoot is great if you're trying to do surprise kill an enemy who doesn't know you're there yet. Like, if they don't know you're flying towards them, you know, it's a great way to get that sneaky kill. Gravity boots is great if they know you're there, which is most of the scenarios, right? You're fighting someone, they're gonna know you're there, you know? Let's say a teammate starts shooting, you can't control everything in this game, so you're there. You just pop this, you go forward a little bit, and then you just slam down. That is an immediate kill for you. Like, enemies will not expect that most of the time. Now, also Newt Scoot, you know, the little lifeline passive ability, where you could glide, you can only hang in the air for just a little bit of time. They actually nerfed this, so now you only hang in the air for like 2 to 3 seconds, compared to when if she first launched this season, you could hang in the air for like 5 seconds. So you could go way further and just hang in the air just much longer. What in the world? What the? Okay. Which is kind of why I prefer like gravity boots anyway. You know, because I pop this and then I can immediately slam down. The enemy won't expect that. I get the, you know, I get that. I have power booster amp. I get another tactical because this gives you attack charge every time you knock. And then you go to the next guy and then you just continue. You see how you basically remain untouchable? Like your only like time you take damage really is when you're on the ground. And that's only to just fry someone. Once you fry that guy, you get another tactical. Pop this, you cut that downtime in half. Bam, you land back down and you get the kill. Now, level 3, you have Knock Expert, which gains an extra ability charge on Knock. Now, this does the exact same thing that Power Booster does, except it doesn't really help the ultimate recharge faster. It's just for the tacticals. Let's just say, you know, you tank your tack. It's the same thing we talked about earlier. You land and you knock this guy. You'll get an extra tack charge. But Sonyx, what is that? Why are you recommending Power Booster when this perk does the exact same thing? Like, what? Why not just choose this, not Power Booster? Because with Power Booster, you get attack charge during knock. Same exact thing with this perk. Meaning that if you pop one and then you land back down and you get the kill, you actually get 2 attack charges this way. So you pop another one. You can actually pop 2 now. You're going to be in the air for so long. So every time you get a knock with Power Booster and Knock Expert together, you'll end up getting 2 attack charges instead of just one. It'll stack together. So you'll have 2 ready to throw. Now, if you do want to choose the left-hand side, Conservation of Energy, this is really cool because your passive, you know how you land on the ground and you get the little soft landing? You actually gain 25 HP of shield regen every time you do that. Like, it's so powerful. Like, look, I have no shields right now, right? And I immediately land. I start to gain 25 now. You could retake it again, and then you could land again with a soft landing. You get another 25 HP. I'm literally healing while not doing anything. It's like the charged knock we talked about earlier, but it's not even requiring a knock. You literally just are moving and using your passive ability that the game already gives you in order to gain shields. This is really powerful stuff because with that perk we talked about earlier, the gravity boots, you see how I'm landing super quickly? Now you accelerate how much you're healing passively. And bam, I have full shield, guys. I haven't even popped a single bat or a single cell. Both of level 3 are actually really great. I don't really recommend one over the other. It's all depending on what your playstyle is. Let's say you like having more tacticals, then choose Knock Expert. If you like healing passively and taking advantage of that, you know, choose Conservation of Energy. Now for recommended weapons, you know, Horizon can pretty much run anything she wants. It doesn't matter because Horizon's great, you know, mid-range, long-range, close range. But I still prefer out of all these, like the R301, you can't go wrong with this thing. This thing is an absolute shredder of a weapon, and it has been since the beginning of the game, especially since, you know, they just buffed this weapon actually in Season 27. So I would recommend the R3. It's probably the standard base weapon if you're still trying to find a good kind of starter weapon. Try the R301. Now with close range, our alternator is still great with the hop up, you know, the double tap. The R9 is great. You could even run shotguns as well because like the PK, for example, I'll show you why the PK is great. Like you take your tack and you go up and you land back down. Enemies cannot react to that. You know, they can't react to how fast that you literally landed. You can even go directly like kind of on them and then just like start firing. So it's a really powerful one. So the PK, R3, I mean, it's like been a standard loadout since the beginning of time, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But even if Horizon's great, I think other legends are still better. Like, I know for sure Octane is still one of the strongest skirmishers, especially his buffs are just so strong. Like, just try him out. And then Valkyrie is just as strong as well. I think Valkyrie is probably one of the strongest legends in the game because she could do so many different things with a passive alone. You know, Horizon can do one thing or one or two things. Valkyrie has like 20 different ways, actually. And then Octane, obviously, the versatility, and he's just a movement speed demon. And also, let me know if there's any other legends you guys want me to cover, because I kind of cover pretty much everyone. I'm still working on a few more, but if there's anyone else you want, just comment that down below. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day.